once again. Now, I would like to invite our second honorable chief guest, that is Professor Deepak Tandon. Sir is a professor of finance and accounting, is the program chairperson for PGDM Banking and Financial Services at International Management Institute, New Delhi. He has authored numerous finance-related books and research papers in banking. He had obtained his PhD degree in 2010 from Washington, D.C., United States, and has a teaching experience of 21 years in national and international universities, as well as industry experience of 14 years. His research work has been published in national and international journals. We would like to learn more about your experience, sir. The stage is all yours.
Yeah. At the outset, I congratulate the organizer, Dr. Divya Vermaji, and my mentor, more than a brother, Dr. A.K. Sani sir, is the dean of your institute at the moment. Sarthak, thank you, Sarthak Bhatia, for introducing me, and a good job UCMS always does, year after year. And I was just the other day at a panel discussion at PhD Chamber of Commerce on the budget, and it was held at Meridian, and we were talking about a lot of things about GST. Am I audible now, Sarthak?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
I think I've raised my volume the maximum. Yeah. The momentum of this discussion already has been made by Dr. A.K. Sani sir by introducing the word Gati Shakti. He has also talked about 4 or 5 things. The main aim was a digital India, technology as an enabler, technology as a transformer, technology into our day-to-day digital currency. What Anilji has also supplemented it, the basic tenets of the wish list of the budget. Basically, first, when I was listening to the budget, and I thought it will run for about 3 hours, 2.5 hours. Usually, Dr. Nirmalaji always do it. But this time it's the shortest budget. Okay. And the budget, my dear students, before I start, I would just like to give you a background. Those of you students, because the academia students at times do not know, and we have forgotten our country. Anilji has rightly said, Sani sir has rightly said, we are a Republic India. So the budget, democratic world, you should be here. So I'm just taking back to you a little bit about your civil studies. So basically there are 2 types of the taxes, very fast now. I'm just picking it, my momentum, Sarthak. So just the notes and all I'll scribble, and I'm going to leave it. I'm going to send it to Divya ma'am for your circulation. The PPT is all yours, don't worry, so that you get a capsule and you will not be able, because UCMS is known for producing the best of the students in their livelihood. And there are 2 types of taxes basically from the finance perspective. What is this budget all about? NLG has said there is something has to come in, the income has to come, and how much is the expenditure you have to do. Basically, it talks about the when you have to collect it. Sani sir has also said it is the shape of the taxes. Taxes is basically you have to person earns and gives the burden to the government. So this is supposed to be a salaried and all. You earn and you give the burden. You don't share. You have to share the burden to the government. TDS has to be given, and on a form 16 also it has to be done. So it's a direct tax. The second tax is your indirect tax. Indirect would be, NLG rightly said, it is a GST will be applied. And suppose I am owning a pizza shop and I deliver pizza to Sarthak, so the burden is going to be shifted. So that's an indirect. So he has to pay some GST to me, and it comes to me, and it is going to be collected from the customer. Now Sarthak is going to pay GST. Whatever higher, lower, 18%, whatever it is there, so it has to do. So the government keeps on. We are a republic. Only 2 minutes I'll take, and we have our own constitution. 26th of January 1950. That's the date which is very important. And there are 2 articles into our constitution. The first article is article number 265. This article vests the authority of law to collect the taxes. So from there, the roots of the budget come. The second is you make some laws. You can always have the provisions, but when you make the law, it has to be passed by both the houses of the parliament. And it is under 7th schedule of the constitution. There are 3 lists which are prepared. List number 1, which is by the union. List number 2 by the state, and list number 3 is a concurrent state and union both. This income tax, what Dr. Sani was saying, is going to be collected under Article 246. You collect. Then only when you collect, you make a budget. And you have to put all the things into at one place only. When you are going to put this document, it takes not less than 6 to 8 months. There is a full-fledged in the Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs. There is who our finance minister heads it. So there is a budget team. 6 months, and prior to the days of the budget, say around a month, the staff is not allowed to even visit the family. It's all confidential. Okay, so it used to be basically into now this time the budget is on a E mode. When it is a E, it talks about digitalization. Now there are 4 or 5 things which are very important about this budget. Before I touch my MSME or my banking area, I would like to just supplement it and yeah. So now, Sarthak, can you straight away share the screen and scribble on it? Okay, just a minute. So you'll have to help
Sure,
me. Yeah, first I open the PPT. Correct?
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
Correct. I've opened the PPT. Then what I do, boss?
Sir, then you need to come on the WebEx where the meeting is going on.
Just a minute. Share content.
Yes, sir.
No, entire screen.
Yes, sir.
It's not coming. We can't display your share content. Make sure that you have already got the permission to share. I share application, or I have to share the. No, this meeting type requires the. Now you are the presenter. Now she's made me the presenter. Now I think I can share it. Now what do I do? Just tell me.
Sir, you need to again go on to the share option.
Share option.
And
Share
then,
entire.
yes, sir.
Share. What do you want to share? Optimize the text and the images. Application.
Sir, you might be getting an option, a window that is displaying people.
Just no, I think you can see this.
Yes, sir. We can see this.
Yeah. So now, and just I have a background. I can scribble it on that. So you can also jot down. I started. So, and you want me to do a F5? I can do that also. Don't worry. Now, basically, what is there? There are some sectors which Anil said. I'll start now. A very little faster. No, it's not. I can only write it on that. Yeah. So number 1 basically is your technology, which Dr. Sani and Anil, and we will say a digital India, and we have a digital currency, rupee also will be made, and a cryptocurrency also will be allowed with some taxes on it. Why? I'll just tell you, and be very clear, my dear student, what is this cryptocurrency, what is Bitcoin, what is data mining, you have to mine it, or they will be sold on the exchanges. Once they're going to be sold on some exchanges, which I'm going to name you, then only that's why it is to be taxed. The government earlier banned it, but now they have allowed it. The trading part of it takes place. People have minted money into that infrastructure. And Bitcoin is a part of that currency. It's a name of an artificial currency. Okay. So we are going to just talk. So the second is your infrastructure. The third is your health part, which is very important. And the fourth basically is your education. It talks about the GDP. It talks about the stability. It talks about our growth. It talks about our fiscal deficit, which is going to be, Sarthak, is visible now, 6.4?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
6.4% of the GDP. If it is 6.4% of the GDP, and Anil, was just mentioning about the revenue. The revenue as on today is 22.84. Now you get everything now with these figures. And I'm saying 22.84 lakh crore. And our fiscal deficit is 64. So when we have revenue only 22, but the expenditure which was done and has to be done is 39.45 lakh crore. Look at the difference. So our expenses are going to be more. Now, from where will we meet our expenses now? Direct taxes. And that is why she has not changed. Earlier, I was also thinking, boss, middleman, रो ही रहा है, रोता ही रहेगा, हमेशा होता रहेगा. But नहीं. But the GDP also, he says we will be able to sustain the growth. It's a very beautifully, meticulously drafted document. The more you read, the more you will be clear. The 9.2% is going to be hovering around GDP. 60 lakhs jobs are going to be there. So job creation. So now, and our PLI schemes which are going to be there is a 30 lakhs crore production has to be looked into. Look at the basis. This is the basis. We start with the budget like this. And when we say the slogan, when we were doing a wish list of the budget, in the wish list, when we were interviewing, I could do a lot of panels like that. We said that it has to be a triple R concept. We think the government should give some relief in the shape of MNREGA, relief in the shape of recoveries, relief in the shape of MSMEs. Government has done it. Not MNREGA, they have not reduced the rate of the interest, but yes, for MSME, they have done a lot. Second R, basically, I thought, and it is very important, is the recovery mode. This recovery would be basically, Anil rightly said, we have a mopping GST collection, and our deficit was 6.2% is our deficit. So we have a robust tax collections. Reforms are there. Third is your reforms. Ease of doing business is the main reform. Research and development is another one. Academia, education, green is the focus and need of the hour. And with that, he is very clear. This was the wish list. And she has already met the wish. Only thing is that, yeah, the markets are going in markets, so boss, kisi ka bhi saga nahi hai. Long-term capital gains, they wanted it to be removed. It is not. People are sitting into home, so they said we are into the cushion modes, electricity and all. She should have come out with an online sum, but where she will give it? So anyhow, there is no scope of touching the taxes at all. So Union Minister has just given a budget. She has just spelled out the things, and it is not a law at the minute. This budget will become a law, and once it becomes a law, it is called an appropriation law in the law. So our part A talks about GDP, 60 lakhs job creations, and it also talks about our Gati Shakti. The word is Gati Shakti. Gati means Tivrata, speed. With speed, we must do our agriculture. With speed, we must do chemical-free farming. What Anil has said. NABARD will play a good role. Kisan drones are going to be there, and Betwa project has to be done. Railways, roads, infrastructure, airports, all should be linked. Ports and our waterways. This is something going to be in the Gati. Now, in the COVID times, we have got lot of sufferings into the health, into the credit part, into this less than 500 crores in the 6 years. So we have seen the role of insolvency bankruptcy code also softening. It was scrapped into the COVID times for the bankers had done it. So moratorium period has been increased for the agriculture 2 years. She has done a good. Anil said job creation. How will you give job creation? Skill development. So Desh Stack has been done. Youth portals have to be formed. She is very clear. I will give a digital ecosystem. Drone Shakti startups are going to be made. She is very clear. So I proceed with this, that what is the From triple R, she goes to triple B. It is a balanced act. It's a document is very foolproof. It's a bolster. It's a booster, which Anil says. And it's a roadmap to our economic stability. Look at this. And growth. Growth is the main thing which are there. Inclusive for the excluded. Poor sector, microfinance, excluded sector. She wants more and a sustainable development. Look at the words. Beautiful words she's put. Infrastructure, inclusive growth, sustainable development. And our PLI, I have already told you. Ease of doing business, I have already told you. Now coming to the next. The goals, what Chani sir was saying, and Anilji also said, we are undergoing 25 years of Amrit Kal. Look, these words have been taken from our Upanishads, Mahabharata, and these Amrit Kal is a very, very growth period. It's a win-win situation. Win-win situation in terms of our inclusive welfare. Technology, the vicious circle of private, triple P, public-private partnerships, crowded by the public capital investments. So it has to be Gatishi, it has to be inclusive. This I've already told you. Now coming to the next, after these four pillars, now where does the money come from? This also I have told you. Income tax is hardly 15%. The maximum is the money will come from borrowings. It is 35%. Look at the things. And our spending, when we say our borrowings are more, rupee is going to come, it will go to various sectors, central sector, expenditures, pension, other schemes, subsidies. Basically, if you look into, so we always say that it is going to be our interest payments have to be met. So it comes number one. Number two would be your capital sector stream. Now, if that is the case, you will extend the whole definition of a startup or a micro MSME would be totally revamped. We always say that our micro enterprises, our MSME, SME, Rashtra Mahila Kosh, all these has to be looked into, and there will be a raising and accelerating ramp also has to be rolled out. Now, before I proceed to our MSME, which was the target, my takeaways straight away 5 to 10 minutes. I'll look into my takeaways, and I'll put up. I'm using now here my takeaways from this budget, which I think was the agenda, which will be there very much there. Number one, I am talking is taxation. No change at all. Disabilities, they have given some relief. Now there is a provision to file. As on today, there is a provision to file if there is any error into your ITR. ITR, there is a problem. So within 2 years, you can rectify it. Okay. Sarthak, you have to tell me when to stop. 5 o'clock? Divya? Sarthak?
Yes, sir.
What time I have to wind it off? If the third speaker doesn't come. Okay, is he there? Sir is there?
So as for now, he's not here. We'll let you know in meanwhile.
Yeah, you let me know, because I'll be able to give me half an hour. So I'll 20-25 minutes. Divya se पूछ लो जरा. I can proceed. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to cover everything. Don't worry. So there is no change. Disabilities, she has given some relief. ITR, you can always rectify. You can always file a revised return. There is a provision now. Look at this. Is it not a good thing what she's doing it for the taxation? टैक्स की कटौती करना उसके बस की बात नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारा जो है एक्सपेंडिचर इज क्वाइट हाई. वेयर विल शी पे फ्रॉम? That is what is going to be there. We have yet to even look into the last year budgets. But at times the students, our young generation, even we into the senior citizen also, well, at times we laugh that she's talking into lakh crore rupees. Always she talks into no, but this time this is a beautifully meticulously drafted document. Okay, and it's a red case. You see, budget is always into a red. It is not a green budget, it is not a pink budget, it is something that you have to attack, but you have to spendings are more. And okay, the third part basically is some additional taxes for the 2 years have to be paid. Now, digital number two, in the taxation part, we say that you have to tax. Whom do you have to tax? The receiver. There is a seller, there is a receiver. So in this case, you will have to, the receiver has to be taxed. And how much it has to be taxed? Additional 2%. 2% additional you have to be there, and 2 years you have to just finish it off. You have to take the in the revised return, you can always look into, and there is a at the rate of 30% is the basically you have to tax the virtual. We call this as virtual because everything is technology and it has to be a virtual digital asset. Okay. TDS for the government employees, NPS, number third. TDS, tax deducted at source for the salaried, for the government employees, it has been raised. TDS has been raised, 14%. This is one of the negatives, you will see. You can always, nobody tells like that. But she has not changed the long-term capital gains. She has not done, they're still taxed at the rate of 15%. So cooperative societies have to pay additional 15% also, and a minimum tax alternative still holds good. So we talk about the tax like this, no change. The second area which Anilji has also covered, I am not going to cover into detail, is the infrastructure. In the infrastructure, there is a Gati Shakti plan which I think the Dean sir and Anilji has said it is rupees 20,000 CR. And national highways will be there. National expressways are going to be made. Highways, express, they are going to be there by 22 to 23 is the target. And 400 odd trains, which Anil was saying, pan India, we are calling it as, look at the words used by this government, is Vande Bharat. Vande Bharat trains are going to be there, which are going to be indigenously manufactured. 60-kilometer ropeway projects are going to be there, and metro systems are going to be multimodal. They are going to be multimodal. There will be connectivity. Okay, so infrastructure is also taken care of in this. The third area which Anil has already done justice to it is the agriculture sector. What he talked about, there is after these three farm laws which were repealed, then there is a wheat, paddy, rabi and millet. There is 1 crore to the farmer. Chemical free farming he was talking about. Natural farming was talked for the pesticides. Post harvest, there will be additional millet products. Kisan drones are going to be there for a good crops. And basically, there is a very big project which the government has in mind for agriculture is our Ken Betwa River. There is a Betwa River, it has to be cultivated 9 hectares. Look at the amount. Yeah, that is agriculture is going to be. It's a post-harvest is the most important thing because we India have a lot of floods, rain. This time is also there, but the second, the third, first, second, third, the fourth part I'm talking is a defense area. She's always worried about our defense, and 68% of the domestic procurement has to be done. Domestic procurement. Some training has to be, R&D has to be looked into defense, and military platforms have to be made, equipments have to be done, and it has to be done. The fifth area which the budget Anil always says is about the health. Last year also, when we presented, both of us were there for GGSIPU, and we talked about our vaccinations and the health. So health is very important at the minute. National digital health ecosystem has to be made. National health ecosystem. Okay. I'm going to save this and send it. Don't worry. everybody has to be mentally fit. There is a scheme for mental health program. Women and children should be very healthy. And as on today, we are suffering from contaminated water. So she has allocated approximately 60,000 crore for Har Ghar Jal. Okay, Har Ghar Jal means every house should have water. Now, what is more important for us, the other areas, is education. In the education sector, it is a digital university has to be made. Digital university has to be made. And as long as, what does that mean, digital university? There will be supplemental channels. One class TV channel should be broadcasting so that at least our education is the best. 75 digital banking units have to be formed. Where? 75 districts. That means one digital banking unit for one district. You ought to look. A new thing which has come into education, you want all to be educated. There should not be any frauds. There will be a system of chip passports, e-passports. Now you will only carry a chip and it would be there. E-passport with a chip would be there. Now there are a lot of problems when you buy a house or a sell house. So that also people are not educated into the tehsils and all. So she wants that land parcel also identification should be there. So that people are very clear that the records which you want to summon, they are available. Okay. Now, before I touch, the agenda which was given to me was SMA, MSME and our banking. So I would like to just dwell into that within 5 minutes only. And I think we are in the MSME sectors, micro, small and medium enterprises. It has to be introduced for the next 5 years. 2 lakh crores will be facilitated. Okay, 2 lakhs crore will be facilitated. Okay, 2 lakhs crore will be facilitated and will be introduced in the next 5 years. There are some schemes which are there already. They were not doing well. So she has reintroduced and given additional credit. As on today, a poor farmer goes to the bank. He is denied of the loan. He does not get a loan. When he will not get a loan, they ask collaterals. Anil mentioned something about collateral. Collateral means which is going to be offered as a security. The security has to be marketable. The security has to be scalable. And basically it has to be a tangible security which can be sold and got money for it. It must have an economic shelf life also. But then there is a credit guarantee trust has to be created for a micro, small enterprises and 2 lakh crore will be distributed. There is an emergency line credit scheme which is going to be there in this. And in the pandemic, people have suffered a lot. And she has given additional cover. Look at these are the positive. This is, I'm not saying nothing is negative in the MSME. This was the wish list, which every panelist, when he went for what we expect from the budget, I also published into one of the journals. And I said, this is my wish list. For MSME, this is positive. I'm saying this is positive. And this is positive. So we are saying there is an emergency credit line. Emergency means अगर कोई default हो जाता है of a poor farmer for any circumstances which are beyond their repair, so the government is going to give it. Don't compare it with the urban sector. Don't compare it with the introduction of a bad bank. Last budget she announced. Do not confuse with the IBC code, NCLT. That is why we are talking poor, medium, micro, new definitions which are there for the startups also. Okay, so MSME related portals which are going to be all portals as on today, like the banks were having a lot of vendors. Now everybody would be united only on one platform. The various platforms which are existing, eShram, Udyam, NCS, Asim, all will be there will be widened cover to G2C, government to consumer, B2C, B2B services, and a new sector. New sector. Anil mentioned to you about cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is nothing but a P2P, peer-to-peer lending. Okay, so that means loans are not going to be there without collateral. They will be there. You are going to foster all these small and medium enterprises, and I am to make you really, my dear students, academia, again and again, because this budget more talks about MSME, it more talks about agriculture, it more talks about infrastructure, it more talks about digital, it more talks about inclusive banking, inclusive, it more talks about financial inclusion. So when all this is going to be there, again and again I'm going to repeat it so that you are memorized. There will be, you have to promote the startups which have to the angel investing, the money which comes into, you will have to attract the investments. And generally, what we see when there are some placements, also people don't want to join these startups. The longevity of the startups is a very big question. But now, once the money has been invested in crores, expert committee is going to be there. There will be a monitoring into the pipe funds, right? Private investments for public enterprises, PIPE, would be more. So the startups is going to be there. In the banking sector, before I take the banking sector, I'll just take straight away banking. And then I think I should be able to show you a 1 minute video also. It is going to be, yeah, Sartha, we have time? 43, I have 20 minutes. Okay, Sartha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No issue. So, Abhi, any questions up till now for the budget? Anybody wants anything? Question. Just write your questions. In the end, I will take it then. सार्थक ठीक है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
मैं आपसे दो चीजें अर्ज कर रहा हूँ, छोटी छोटी. I'm talking a little bit in Hindi also, so that you can never forget it. As on today, prior to the budget, there were a lot of NPAs, non-performing assets, in the banking sector. The balance sheet of the banks were bleeding, and banks were to die. Last year in April, our respected finance minister announced the Indian bank mega mergers. All the public sector banks from 28, 26 were brought down to hardly 4 sectors, that is 12 banks. And Bank of Baroda I am including, which was earlier, there was a merger. So it is not a merger in true sense, it is just only a consolidation. She has used the word merger, but she is very clear. The logos of the bank are going to be, there will be an anchor bank. For example, Punjab National Bank is going to take over, has already taken over OBC and United Bank. Right? Canara Bank was syndicate bank. Like that, she has announced. It all is a regional niche, basically geographical. This she announced in the last budget. Last budget she announced for a LIC IPO. And this IPO could not be, but in March now, 2020, it is ready. Now, SEBI, there is a red herring prospectus which is already gone. So it is going to come any moment. March 22, this budget, just next month, you must expect one LIC IPO or mega one. 2 banks have to be privatized, she said in the last budget. There was a lot of hue and cry in the banking sector. Which ones? Central Bank of India, Bank of Maharashtra, Punjab and Sindh Bank. These banks which are not doing well, which banks to merge? Nobody will touch. Still, it is on a quieter version. Bank of Maharashtra then revamped it and they brought on. Unfortunately, in the NBFC sector also, there were a lot of scams which are there. We have seen Chanda Kochar scam, we have seen PNC scams happening last year. So there is. Now, Jandan accounts also, Vadhaman Group has played with that. Jandan accounts, PMC, Punjab and Mercantile Cooperative Bank. But in that case, the best investment was a postal office. In the PPF schemes, or 80cc, equity ELSS schemes, which are there. So basically, what she says is 100% of 1 lakh post offices will be there. 100% means it will come to the banks now. Once they come to the bank, you will be able to have your NDTL, net demand and time liabilities. And net demand is your CASA, current account, saving account. Time liabilities is your fixed deposits. to fixed deposits, post offices allowed RD, children money, endowment funds, whatever it is. And as on today, all post offices come to the banking sector, so they will be having net banking, mobile banking, ATMs, and unilateral transfers can be done. IBC amendments, which was stalled in the COVID times, have opened up. There is resolution professionals have been formed, new ones, and NCLT is going to. That is why we have seen the demise of JP. We have seen the demise of Bhushan Steel. We have seen that I'm naming you the cases, and it will facilitate cross-border insolvency. ICICI Bank has also taken a lot of 75 digital banks. This I've already told you. Surety bonds, Government of India bonds, sovereign bonds is the happening thing which is going to be there in the as an international arbitration will be shared. The gift city Ahmedabad will be set up. The arbitrations are going to be set up. A world-class university will be allowed, and payment of annuity, lump sum amount to the differently abled persons will be given on the parents and guardian retaining 60. Look at this. Which budget has already taken care of the old senior citizens? She had only given the tax rates which are applicable to senior citizens and super senior above 80. But what about the annuity? Only thing is, my learned, respected finance minister, you should have, my submission, you should have exempted this health schemes of the Mediclaim, which attract 18%, and it is in the anvil now. It has been gone into the budget to her that please exempt at least the Mediclaim, which you get under 80D. You must execute and allow us to have a rebate. Scrap it off. Why should it be 18% at the minute? I take a Mediclaim policy for my being a senior citizen for my family. I have to pay 18%. It comes to 42,000 then. From 34,000, it will go to 42,000. It's a crazy thing. So this is one thing which is a negativity of this budget. Now I'm coming to the last part, which Anil has said is very clear, is the most popular thing which is happening as on today, my dear students. In any interview, in any jobs, you are asked 3 to 4 things. What are those? Bitcoin, Ethereum, okay, cryptocurrency, and data mining. Okay, so I'm just going to just tell you these are the medium of exchanges, and everything has to be encrypted. Encrypted means nobody can break it. So earlier, what used to be there? Just a background to you. There are IT people. Sani sir is a wizard into this. There is a buyer and a seller. There is a buyer. I'm just going to say there is a buyer. There is a seller. So somebody has to intervene, and this intervention has to be the central bank. RBI has to intervene between the two persons. Since it is going to be Ethereum or Bitcoin blockchain, these are the two things which are nobody can be able to. No cracking can be done. No cracking can be done. People have taken a lot of data warehousing. They have installed a lot of look at this, and the businesses, and they minted money. Now this budget talks. Reserve Bank of India had said in India we will not have cryptocurrency trading. We will not. Now this budget has again reopened it because it is going to boost the digital economy. This is not my word. This is the digital economy. Currency is going to be more efficient and cheaper currency. Okay, nobody should be able to break it. Now, how it is found? What do you mean by no cracking? It will be only through puzzles. If you can crack the puzzles, you can do it. Nobody, you can't do it. It's a AI logarithms. And it's always talks about logarithms. It has to be machine learning, artificial intelligence, and all this is going to be there. And my dear sir, to the benefit of you students, Bitcoin is nothing, it's artificial. Nobody knows what is Bitcoin. We always say Bitcoin is nothing. I'm just going to this is all apart from the there is a Satoshi, what is his name? Satoshi Nakamoto, Japanese. What is this? Is the name of
Professor Tandon?
Yeah.
Just to interrupt you in between, I'd like to welcome Mr.
Okay, he's come.
Dhinal Shah.
Shah has come. Very good, very good. Give me 5 minutes only.
in the
So this is all. I'm more or less finished.
final
From the
discussion.
banking. Give me 5 minutes, ma'am. Is it
Sir,
possible?
Yes, sir. Yes. Just
Go
wanted
ahead.
to
I'm
welcome
sorry for
him.
being late. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Tandon, sir, you
welcome,
can continue with your
Yeah.
thing.
So, the intricacies of GST and other tax, you can take care. Okay. So now capital adequacy has increased, NPA has come down, and my agenda was more of MSME, which I've already told you. NARCL has come. So we hope for a citizen first, digital first future. Okay, look at this Pink Floyd. These are the quotes which I'm using. So this is basically I want to tell you. And before that, Divya, Sarthak, give me, I just sought for 5 minutes. Shah sir, 5 minutes, if permitted. I just want to show them.
The
I just
time is
want to
yours.
show.
Time is
Huh?
yours.
No,
Time
only
is
5
yours.
minutes. Not more than 5 minutes. Now, Sarthak, just help me. I want to show this. There is a budget 2022, which is, I put it, yeah.
Emergency.
Yeah. So, stop sharing. Now, what do I do? Sarthak, you just said, tell me.
You just again need to open the sharing option.
I just have to open again the sharing
Sharing
option.
option.
Just a
And in
minute.
the
Just a minute. Give me on the screen. Sharing option. Yes. Then
entire screen.
entire screen. But in the screen, that means I have to just first open into the screen. Entire
Yes, sir.
screen. No?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. Just a minute. Just a minute. I opened it, but I don't know whether it is. Okay. I've opened this.
Emergency.
Yeah. What I do is I just open. No issue. Again, I go to Sarthak, just let me know.
Share screen. Sir, share screen.
Now I have to cancel first. Now I'll share the screen. Connecting. Then
Entire screen option, sir.
it's not taking it because I think it's not connecting. Share content. No issue. नहीं हो रहा ना बेटा
No,
GDS
sir.
wants to share.
Wait.
Huh?
I'll just check, sir. Now it is visible, sir. It's trying.
No, I have to now stop sharing first.
No. You just play the video. Go on that video which you want to play, sir.
To stop.
Open the video again. Yeah.
Emergency.
It's going on. Now
credit
what do
line
I do?
Guarantee scheme.
Now,
You can minimize the screen.
Minimize.
The
Yeah.
screen you can minimize and then show it.
And mitigate adverse impact of the
Now I share.
The
Stop sharing.
hospitality
And
and
now I
related
share.
services, especially those by micro and small enterprises, are yet
नहीं हो रहा
to
साथ
regain
कोई बात नहीं मैं भेज दूंगा आपको
pre-pandemic
आप लोग देख
level of
सकते हो
business.
ओके
Considering these aspects,
what do I
Right,
do
sir, right.
अभी
LGS
हो रहा
will be
है
extended
share the
नहीं
content
sir, share नहीं हो रहा sir.
is it a online YouTube video?
no I took it from the
and its
PhD
guaranteed
channel
cover will be
Okay.
expanded by
not
50,000
so now it's not there on the
rupees
YouTube
total
so
cover of
I'll share
5
let me try
lakh
once more that's it
crores.
entire screen is not being done ना ये तो मेरे को rights नहीं है you cannot do it make sure you have been allowed permission I've not got the permission
With the additional
Got it?
amount being earmarked,
the meeting requires you become the presenter
hospitality
before sharing
and related sectors.
Wait, sir.
Sir, please check once again. I think
Can be trust for
the access has
micro
been provided.
Akshay आप
PGT MSC. Team will be revamped
no
with
चलो
required
कोई बात नहीं है मैं सर का टाइम नहीं लेता मैं
This will facilitate
so I'll send you Divya
credit
I'm going to
for
send you now
Yes, sir.
okay so I'll send you so I am the presenter now Now I am the presenter. Now I think it will come. Okay. Now what I do is I'll share the. क्या था? सार्थक अब क्या करना है?
Sir, share. When you click the option share screen, then you will be getting tabs.
Share the content.
Yes.
Content, na? Entire screen.
This will help MSME sector become more resilient, competitive, and efficient.
Is it coming?
So now you can just go on the where video is playing.
Yeah.
The industry will be reoriented to promote continuous skilling avenues, sustainability, and employability. The national skill qualification framework will be aligned
It is
with
going on.
dynamic
Yeah.
industry
Then?
needs.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now
See now.
So now it's visible, sir.
Now it is visible. 1 minute
Yes.
at this time.
Kindly, sir, restart. Yes.
Yeah.
Has provided the much needed
Is
additional
it okay now?
so that
Yes, sir. It's fine.
this has helped them mitigate the adverse impact of the pandemic. The hospitality and related services, especially those by micro and small enterprises, are yet to regain their pre-pandemic level of business. Considering these aspects, the ECLGS will be extended up to March 2023 and its guarantee cover will be expanded by 50,000 crores of rupees to total cover of 5 lakh crores. With the additional amount being earmarked exclusively for the hospitality and related sectors. Credit Guarantee Trust for Micro and Small Enterprises, CGT-MSE, scheme will be revamped with required infusion of funds. This will facilitate additional credit of 2 lakh crore for micro and small enterprises and expand employment opportunities. Raising and accelerating MSME performance ramp program with outlay of 6,000 crore over 5 years will be rolled out. This will help MSME sector become more resilient, competitive, and efficient. Skilling programs and partnership with the industry will be reoriented to promote continuous skilling avenues, sustainability, and employability. The National Skill Qualification Framework will be aligned with dynamic industry needs. Digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood, the Desh Stack e-portal, will be launched. This aims to empower citizens to skill, reskill, or upskill through online training. It will also provide API-based trusted skill credentials, payment and discovery layers to find relevant jobs and entrepreneurial opportunities. Startups will be promoted to facilitate drone Shakti through varied applications and for drone as a service. In select ITAT courses for skilling will be started.
Yeah. So I'm going to send you this because Divya told me emphasize more on MSME. So I could take this clipping of only one area, that is MSME. I took it from the PhD. She had just come, and the other day we were at it was at the Meridian, and she presented it. And when we got this video, I'm going to share it with you. Now I'm going to send it to Divya Sata and just go through this. And beautifully, she forget the lakh crores. Don't talk about the crores. Talk only about the what are the benefits to the poor farmers. What are the benefits to the MSME sector? Will it not motivate you to join a startup? Rather, or you become an entrepreneur. With this, I come to the end, and I thank Dr. A.K. Saini sir, Dr. Divya Barmari, Sarthak Bhatia ji, and my co-panelist, C.A. Shah sir. I welcome you, sir, and over to Sarthak back, and I wish you all success in all your endeavors, my dear students, for all your future livelihood, and all blessings are there. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. We are charmed by your sharp eloquence.